Fans, this is Todd, and today we're going to talk about the story of Sharella and take a look at the new figure that Mattel just announced. So first of all, you're probably wondering, Sharella, who's that? I mean, we know who Teela is, we know who Evil Lynn is, we know who Shire is, we know all the Shire characters, but who is this Sharella? And so let me go and tell you where this first started. In the beginning, there was the box art. Dun dun dun. And here we have the box art of one of the giants. And way down here in the corner is this mysterious figure running by with brown clothing and a bow and arrow. And you can see we got Hero and everybody else in this picture of rocks being flying by as this kicking power of the big giant, green giant. Jelly green giant. Anyway, so this box art intrigued me. I'm like, that is so cool. I really want that figure. We were all talking about it a long time ago, especially when Mattel gave us Hero. We're like, they gave us Hero, they gave us the giants, and so we had Megator, and we had I gotta forget his name now, Titus. And so we had the giants, we had, of course, Hero, and we had King Grayskull, but of course King Grayskull was not on the box art because it was before his time. And they even gave us Eldor. So we had all these really cool Powers of Grayskull figures. Pog. Where are you? There you are. But we didn't have any females for way back in the time. And so, on the box art, we had this one character who was unnamed, unknown, and the name Sharella kind of got kicked around. I think there was in some kind of Masters of the Universe lore, they had the word Sharella there, but they didn't identify who it was in the Power of Grayskull's line. Now, when we got our classics, they did give us a Sharella figure, and that is this figure right here. The green Teela was known as Sharella, which was kind of interesting. They called her that because obviously we didn't know what her name was in the comics. We just figured she was Teela. But anyway, if you take a look at the back of the box, the classics, this was our Sharella, which obviously does not match. Here, I got a bigger picture of that corner picture. Here we go. Which does not match our cool barbarian tribes person female. Now you can see this female is pretty nondescript because it was so small in the box art, there was not a lot to go on, and so imaginations could run wild on how she should look. So I made quite a few iterations of her. This is my final one right here. Let me get a different light. This light is dying. And I'll go plug this one in. And my first Sharella just had Teela head with long blonde hair. And then I dyed the hair. Actually, this is the hair that I dyed originally. But I decided I wanted to give her a different face. Otherwise, it's just Teela running around again. And we already have the green Teela. And then we have... well, I guess all we have is those two, really. But I wanted to give her a different face, so I gave her the face of Miss Elizabeth, and that's whose face that is. And now, her top half of her clothing, at one time, I tried to make it a fur-type clothing, but it just did not come out very well. So this is actually Captain Glenn's clothes. I just cut it off mid-waist and then painted it brown. The original one, I actually stained it brown, but the staining didn't last. And then I made this on Shapeways a long time ago based off of the picture. Now it's funny, I actually took the picture and kind of traced it in order to make my bow and arrow. So that's why it bows this direction right there. So that is the reason for the shape of this. And then I made a cool little back piece here that is made out of hot glue on the bottom, and then heat shrink tubing that I rolled over, and then I got these arrows. Now back then I didn't have a 3D printer, so I had to make them all in Shapeways and had them mailed to me. But it actually does shoot. Oh, and I have a video showing these shooting across the room, and they do work pretty good. Chink. You guys probably didn't even see that, did you? It was so quick. Let's try that again. Let's try that again, shall we? So let's line it right up here, pull it right back, and hoga. And there it goes. Anyway, so this was my Sharella. Man, I don't know why I'm having a hard time saying her name. And I just love the way she came out. Why am I making this video? Because Mattel has announced their Sharella. Now, the one coming out from Mattel is much more like this picture here, which is a really cool picture. And this is made by Emiliano, I believe. And you can see we got a lot of the powers of Grayskull, where we have Hero, and we got Eldor, and we got Kildor in the back. And then we have Sharella there. And he ended up making her part of the same tribe as the Cringer. So she has a Battle Cat helmet she wears in the other picture. And they actually made this line of toys, which they were going to release a figure that was based on this Sharella figure. You can see here. Alright, so now that I told you the history of Sharella and where she came from and why we're all excited about getting her, again, she was just an extra on the back of some box art for this guy right here. There she is way down there. And lore has spread about her ever since this picture was discovered. Most people didn't even notice it. It's so small. Just an itty bitty character on the box art. Eldor. Anyway. But I noticed her. Dun 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 dun. There she is. So, again, a lot up to interpretation, because again, the picture was not very clear. And I guess without further ado, let's take a look at the Mattel figure they're going to release for Origins. So here she is in the box. Pretty cool looking. It is part of the Powers of Grayskull line. Sharella, heroic tribal chiefess. I guess the female chief. And she does look pretty cool. Let's check out some other pictures of her. Here she is with her bow and arrow. And you can see they kind of follow the exact same format I have with this going forward, then back around. So it's kind of cool how they made it very similar. Now they did give her the fur top, which is great. And there's her little sash of arrows. I don't know how well this is going to work though for actually shooting the arrows, so we'll see. I'm guessing the arrow's probably attached, because they seem to do that a lot with the figures. It does have the new knees. The same boots as Tila. So, pretty cool. There she is. There she is. Yeah, I'm guessing her arrow is attached to the string. I'm really excited about getting this figure. I hope they make her also in Masterverse. So here's the box art. You can see some figures we don't have yet. I remember everybody wanting this great wizard guy, and I actually made this piece here for customs a long time ago on my Shapeways store for people. That is funny though. The Powers of Grayskull! And of course we already seen her in her box. Very cool. So, what I want to know from you guys is when she comes out, are you planning on getting her? Is she going to be one of your must-go-tos? If you don't have the club membership, is this going to be the thing that makes you get the club membership? I know if I didn't have it already, this would definitely make me get the club membership just to have this figure. As you guys saw with my custom, it's a figure I've wanted for a long time, and she does look really cool. Alright, let's take a look at the next picture. Oh, the arrow does come apart. Look at that. So she has one arrow that is loose. And then a bunch of arrows here that are all combined. It's interesting that she has the same armbands as Teela, but not any kind of wrist cuffs. Interesting. There's the box art again. I remember I made one version one time where she had a backwards arm cuff just on this one side, so when the arrow slid across. But in this picture, she's shooting from the other side of the bow, going through. Now it's weird. Just looking at her legs, it looks like she's wearing some kind of light tan pants, but I know it's the same color as her skin up here. And the figure obviously is bare. I am pretty excited about getting this figure. This is really cool. Again, Mattel, make it in Masterverse. We want to see a Masterverse version of this. I wonder if the fur top was removable. Of course, I guess the female figures are a lot smaller than if I could fit it on my figure, but never mind, that's not going to fit. There's no way. And that is all of them. So, with that, let's go and take a look at the website and see how much and when and everything else. So, if you go to Mattel Creations and you scroll on down, you will see, there she is. Welcome this warrior. And it says 4 days, 16 hours, 14 minutes, and 18 seconds. And $20 a piece. Limit 3. And if you're not a club member, you can't get her. So you have to be a club member in order to get her. Maybe not. Because it's not saying I need to have a club member. I'm not signed in right now. But we'll see when it hits, what happens. I could have sworn it was for club members only. Alright, so in the comments, are you planning on getting her? Those eyes look creepy. Creepy, creepy. But as a whole, the figure looks really cool. Hey, did I not show the comic? I did not show the comic. There's the comic. And it looks like they may be releasing Turbodactyl. No way! A green one and a gray one. She Warrior. Alright. So let's take a look at some of those other figures that were made by Formo Toys, F-O-R-M-O Toys, and it was the Lord of Power series. And in this series they were going to make like the original He-Man sculpt. Yeah, I'll just show you a picture of some of them. And then of course they had this figure, it was like Sharella here, and here's original He-Man sculpt. They also had a Keldor and some other figures, and you can see the figure here, what it looks like. Very similar. And again, they have one arm band on this side for shooting her bows and arrows. And then down here she has a mask that she's supposed to put on, which is like a mask from Battle Cat. Here's how it looks on her head. I was never a fan of the Battle Cat helmet. It didn't make a lot of sense to me, but it was something they designed and decided to put on there. Very cool. And again, here's the original Sharella that was on the box art that all of this stemmed from. All right. Let's go ahead and look at that website one more time. Here it is. $20. $20. That didn't work right. June 24th. Set your calendars. Don't you forget it. She is so cool looking. I cannot believe it. Trying to read right here to see if they say anything about you have to be a club member to purchase it. Let's see. Behind the scenes. Oh, exclusively for Club Grayskull. Yep. So you have to be a Club Grayskull member in order to get this figure. Bum bum bum. Crazy. All right. So in the comments, let me know. Purchase 0, 1, 2, or 3, or grab a friend and get more. Let me know how many you're planning on getting. None at all. You think it's dumb as a club membership, or whatever you feel about it, post it in the comments because I want to see. All right, well, that is all I got. Thanks for joining me. And like they say in the 1987 movie, good journey.
If you found enjoyment, like, subscribe, and ring the bell.